Well, this is pretty wild. Kristina Karamo is now the party chair of the Republican Party in Michigan, meaning she's running the actual GOP apparatus in the state of Michigan. And if you're not familiar with her, we'll talk about who Kristina Karamo is. But just to give you a sense, and we'll get into all of her beliefs on demonic possession and all that, that's for later. But just kind of to put her into a box, she still has not conceded her Secretary of State election, where she lost by 14 points. That's how much of an election denier she is, because they stole it. They stole it. Here from the Washington Post, Republicans here reeling from midterm election rout that many blamed on the influence of former President Donald Trump responded Saturday by spurning the former president's choice for state party chair and choosing someone even more extreme. So you heard what it said there? Trump picked someone. The GOP in Michigan picked someone even more extreme than that. Yeesh. Kristina Karamo, who refused to concede her 14-point loss for Secretary of State in 2022, beat former Attorney General candidate Matt DePerno, who had Trump's endorsement in 3 rounds of contentious voting, and then it goes on to describe some of the characteristics of that convention. But what's more interesting to me is diving into who's going to be directing the GOP, the actual party establishment within the state of Michigan. She has once said, Kristina Karamo, that, quote, abortion is really nothing new. The child sacrifice is a very satanic practice, and that's precisely what abortion is. And we need to see it as such. And then more stuff on abortion. And then she said that abortion is the greatest crime of our nation's history. And notably, and I'm just going to read this right off of the page here. Quote, if a person has demonic possession, I know it's going to sound really crazy to me saying that for some people, thinking like, what? But having intimate relationships with people who are demonically possessed or oppressed, I strongly believe that a person opens themselves up to possession. Demonic possession is real. So, I mean, it's something to think about. If you date someone, if you, what's the politically correct term? Is it knocking boots?
Yes.
If you knock boots with somebody who is demonically possessed, you now have opened yourself up to being demonically possessed yourself. And maybe you'll start doing abortion child sacrifices, according to Kristina Karamo. And just so many different wild things here. Let's see. CNN previously reported some of Karamo's beliefs and rhetoric, including her attacks against premarital sex in the LGBTQ community, such as that will lead to the normalization of pedophilia, her anti-vaxxer comments, and her election denialism. Karamo frequently attacks those she disagrees with as being instruments of Satan or demonic, including the Democratic Party and the LGBTQ community. So I will say the whole you're demonic or Satan is the reason that you have the views that you do is a really hard set of beliefs to interact with, because you sit down at a table with me. I'll say, I think that your views are bad. And you'll say, why? And I'll say, here's why. And then I'll walk through factually why I think your views are bad. This would lead to this happening. For example, let's take universal health care. Because you don't support universal health care, we understand that tens of thousands of people's lives are lost because they don't have health insurance based on our broken health insurance industry and our healthcare system. And when you look at other countries, they're able to do a universal healthcare system, every other developed country other than the United States, in a way that leads to better outcomes. And let me show you the studies that prove that. That is a way that you and I can get to some common understanding. Maybe not you agree with me, but you understand where I'm coming from and how we can interact and maybe discuss a compromise. If you sit down at the table and say, yeah, study schmuddy, you're a demon. Okay, you win. I don't know how to exactly defeat that point. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Kristina Karamo, now the chair of the Republican Party, the party chair of the Republican Party in the state of Michigan, we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.